We all have this pile, the scrap pile. But today we're cleaning it up. I'm going to show you how to turn these scraps into 2 pieces of fantasy art. After sorting our scraps into usable pieces, I began the creative process. I knew I wanted to make bookmarks, and I had seen a few styles on Pinterest that I was going to use for inspiration. The first one was a corner bookmark made from 2 rectangular pieces of leather stitched together at the sides. But of course I didn't want my bookmarks to just be simple triangles. No, I wanted them to look cool. Unfortunately, at my current leathercraft skill level, hearts were the only cool shape I could design. I made a quick template and cut out the shape using my fabric shears, because who has time for a knife? Not me. Then I spent some time marking lines for the stitching. And then was time for the satisfying task of hitting something with a mallet, aka punching the holes. These bookmarks will be a gift for some work friends, so I chose some thread that I knew matched their favorite colors and stitched up the sides. I trimmed the edges and sanded them down, satisfying the internal perfectionist in me. Not too shabby for my first attempt at leather bookmarks. I'd seen these other bookmarks on Pinterest, which were basically leather strips with leaves attached to the ends of them. The leaf would end up sticking out of the top of the book and added a whimsical flair, which I loved. It took me a couple of tries to get the leaf sizing large enough that it wasn't too big and small enough that it wasn't too small. I based this size off a scrap of leather that I was using as an estimate for the strips the leaves would be attached to. After cutting out all of my leaves and stems, I marked lines on the leaves to give them that extra leafy look. And I was informed by my more experienced husband that the indentations keep their hold best if the leather is wet first. Then I dyed the leaves and stems green and brown. Tried to re-dye the strips of leather. I had messed up on a previous project with this leather, and that is the reason it ended up in the bin in the first place. We thought it might take the leather dye again, but unfortunately it didn't. Instead, each of the strips have unique markings on them, just like in nature. I attach the leaves to the stems with rivets. You can also stitch the leaves on as well if you don't have rivets or the tools to attach them. If you don't have a leather stash, you can easily make this project with a few simple things. Some scrap leather from the craft store, they sell these in little bags, and a fork to punch holes, a blunt needle, think upholstery needle, and some wax thread. And you don't have to dye the leather if you don't have the funds for that either. This is Hollow Ghost Studio. My name is Pam, and if you like this project, you should watch this next video that I have chosen just for you. And remember, don't just make it weird.